many people came through that website claiming to be good traders or educators and such. And there was one older lady, and this has relevance, so I'm not going off on a rabbit trail, but there was a lady there, and I can't remember her name, but she paired up with one of the guys that was doing like coaching over there. And she learned from Chris Laurie. She learned from, I guess, this naked price action. And she got pretty good at finding very, very short-term intraday setups. And for the life of me, I wish I could remember her name. It's going to drive me crazy. But they ended up releasing a course. And something to the effect of like frequent trade setups or something. The name of it escapes me. But apart from her and Chris Laurie being the only one I thought that had a real good understanding of price action, it's beyond retail, not your classic support and resistance stuff. He kind of like shined out of all of them over there. And let me just drop this real quick. I happened to get pushed an email where someone actually went to Chris Laurie's Twitter and wrote ICT's better. Please don't embarrass me like that. I mean, I gave one guy out of the entire industry a nod, and it's not meant for you to go over there and say, well, ICT does it better. You know, I don't want that. Okay, I think he's a decent guy. I understand he tries to stay in his own lane because he knows wherever I go, it's a carnival. Okay, and he doesn't want that drama because he knows it's not good for business. And he's run a business, you know, for a number of years trying to do what he's doing. And ultimately, I think he does a good job. I don't know what he's doing recently, but he asked me to look into his stuff. He gave me free access to it. I gave him my advice as to how he should disseminate his information, how he should teach it, and get away from the workshop stuff. Okay, he can get into, this is the content, make it approachable, where people can go in and digest it, not just go to a workshop, cram it all in there, get a book that may not really answer everything. But don't go over there and harass that guy, okay? I mean, Larry Williams was harassed, you know, because I said that he was the first real mentor of mine. You know, ICT said, you taught him personally, side by side. I've never said that. But all these ideas of mentors, okay, they teach you. Like this older lady on Forex Mentor. She came out with a course that basically was taking you into a very simple little setup that repeated every single day, and she would find it on one of the currency pairs. Now, I thought that was a really handsome way of approaching price action, and she was showing a spreadsheet. She didn't show any live accounts, but she showed a spreadsheet where she tallied what she more or less made in her trades. Now, did she take those trades? I don't know. I don't care. I liked the idea of what she was trying to do. Now, I don't think she was a good educator, and they were using her as the pony that was, look, here's proof that we have something that works. But the proof was, well, lacking because there was no real account. It was just a spreadsheet. So I'm bringing that up because everyone in the industry that teaches, we all want students to do well. Okay, we want that. The problem with that is we can give them a skill set, but the personality and the real life issues that that person has to encounter every single day of their life, and whatever adversities are plaguing them, you know, their job, their work schedule, their spouse, their significant other, their children, their single parents, health problems, age, everything that you may not really consider as a factor in your development. Now, when you have profitability, they ping in, and they will either entice you to do things stupid like it did me, spend money frivolously thinking it was always going to keep coming in, and I had cracked the code early on when I hadn't. I was getting lucky. No one taught me what to do once profitable, so I blew up. Being profitable without any direction is like a beautiful multi-million-dollar sailboat without a rudder. You're out there wherever the wind's going to carry you. And it's hard to understand if you've not obtained profitability yet, but it's a problem being profitable. It sounds like an oxymoron. It sounds like this can't be true. How can you have a problem being profitable, but yet you do once you get there? Because you start wondering, okay, well, I've been making this much, this consistently. I do have losing trades, but I come out on top over the course of the week or the month. But where do I go next? What do I do with it? The exercise of just doing it alone is honing your experience and your edge. That goes without saying. Where do you go? What do you aim for? What are you trying to do? What structure should you start applying to your business of trading? See, it's not enough to say, well, I want to make $1 million, because $1 million is not a lot of money. I've already spent $1 million this year, and I don't have much to show for it. But you have to have a goal. You have to have something to aim, and there has to be a structure behind that. So one of the series I had intended to do once I completed the private mentorship stuff, and we're done now, that I would sit down and kind of give a public blueprint of what I wish I would have been given as a 20-year-old. Just discovering profitability, figuring out that, yes, I could be consistent with bonds. Yes, I could be consistent with the S&P. And I put away all the mega trade. I have to do only those types of setups, where the big run-ups in the marketplace. I was only focusing on that because Larry Williams said that's where I should be focusing. And because I was looking for that all the time, there was all these trades that were occurring daily, weekly, monthly, that I was really not paying attention to or even aware of because I didn't have the skill set at the time. I was profitable, but I was looking for big trades most of the time. So I would do a bond trade or an S&P trade and one contract, and then realize that I'm consistent with one contract. And you've recently saw me this year just do one contract over the S&P and NASDAQ and double the account. That was a real account, and I showed losing positions. I did all kinds of things to handicap myself and still doubled the account. So for some of you, 100% return sounds too lofty, but I can tell you what you've already been given is easy to obtain that. But you have to have the skill set and discipline to adhere to picking your right setups and trying not to trade every single day. I want to have a setup that gives me a consistent framework that goes into the marketplace, that even a neophyte that doesn't have a long time behind them of profitability, but just recently found consistency with this model on YouTube, that they can go in and feel comfortable. This is the setup I'm looking for. It makes sense. It's there. I can engage it. And then once it gets to a profit objective, stop, turn the computer off, and go do something else. That's what I have in mind for the new developing, recently profitable student with this mentorship. But you now have a problem, don't you? You want to do more. You want to do more. You want to trade more, just like I started thinking, well, I'm doing one contract. And I was trying to make $1,000 a month to save so I could retire at 40. I was willing to put those 20 years in. But then I realized that, wow, I could do $1,000 a week with no real effort. This is a lot easier than I thought it was. Now, don't let me mislead you, folks. This is the 20-year-old that was getting lucky. I started thinking to myself, wow, I could do this every week. And then it became, well, I could day trade the bonds. I'll look at the divergence between the 5, 10, and 30 year. And when they're diverging and I have a bias that's bullish, I know I can go in and buy it. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Then I started making $1,000 a day. So I'm 20 years old and I'm looking around at my friends, and they're working, like one guy's working at a gas station, another guy, he's working at a meat market where he's cutting up meats and such. And they're doing okay, I guess, for our age bracket. And I'm doing $1,000 a day in less than 45 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I can do a lot more if I started trading more contracts. Because making $1,000 a month, that really just didn't do it for me. Once I started doing it consistently, I was like, it's too easy. I need more, like anybody else.